Hello, Terry Engler here with another tidbit of timely truth. Today I want to share with you that I recently saw a quote from a friend on Facebook that really got me to thinking. It read, "We can complain because rose bushes have thorns, or we can rejoice because thorn bushes have roses." That was a quote made by Abraham Lincoln. And it occurs to me that quote can be applied to just about every situation in life. It's about perspective. I'm a glass half full person at times, probably to a fault. And I often deal with glass half empty people. And we would call those two differing perspectives those who are optimists and those who are pessimists. But to employ Lincoln's great quote, let me just give an analogy from my past. My grandfather, Willard Moody, had a knack for growing roses. He had this white fence that stretched across two sides of his backyard, and there he had planted roses along that entire fence line. After they were established, the pink and red roses were the envy of the neighborhood. Now, I also used to play catch in that same backyard with my friend Steve Davis. And on occasion, we would have a baseball hide underneath those huge rose bushes. And I can remember several times kneeling down and reaching underneath the rose bushes to retrieve the ball, only to have one of those thorns prick my hand or finger, and it hurt. My grandfather once told me that when one of those thorns penetrate the skin, they contain a type of poison that makes the pain even worse. Well, I thought about that when I read Lincoln's quote. I could have become frustrated with constantly being pricked by those thorns, and I could have either asked Grandpa to dig them up or get them out of here, or I could have simply taken a sprayer from the farm and given him a good dose of Roundup and taken care of the problem. But you see, had I done that, had I taken that perspective, I would have deprived my grandfather, as well as those who frequently drove through the alley behind the house, the beauty of those roses and the handiwork that he had put in to make them grow. Well, I chose the latter. You see, it's been too long to think back to those days to determine whether or not that experience affected my becoming a glass half full person. But here's what I do know. Negativity and pessimism drains me. And I'd rather be someone who is a glass half full person and be wrong about my perspective than a glass half empty person and be right. And that reminds me of a statement that applies this whole tidbit to a spiritual perspective. I'd rather choose to commit my life to Jesus while here on this earth and be right about his promise of eternal life than choosing to not commit my life to Jesus while here and be wrong. Perspective is consequential.